Hi students, we're entering our second week of the class, which again, as this is an accelerated 4-week class, it's kind of like we're actually entering our fifth week of the class, if you want to think of it that way. I know the workload was a lot last week, and as I was reading through your reflective assignments, I really liked how you sort of told me about what was going on with you, right? So what other things you were trying to get done during the week, how you were managing your time, what was working well for you, maybe what you'll do differently. So the purpose of that reflective assignment really was for you to take a look back at this first week of learning and figure out, are there things that you could do better? Are there ways that you can manage your time better? Because the biggest challenge to this course is time management, right? It's being able to make sure that you have those assignments in when the assignments are due, and also make sure that you have enough information about the content to be able to comfortably go ahead and take that exam at the end of every week. And I know it's a lot, and I do appreciate that. But again, that's sort of how this course is set up. It's accelerated by nature, so 4 weeks and you're done, but it's an awful lot of work during those 4 weeks. So to everybody who made it through the first week, well done. And the good news is now that you've seen what the first week looks like, you know how to prepare for the next 3 weeks because they're essentially identical to what we just did. The difference is the content changes, right? So in week 1, we were looking at just what is environmental science, sort of approaches that we take to studying these problems. We learned about the natural world. So we learned about what an ecosystem is, how energy moves, how materials move. We talked about species interactions. Then we looked at the populations that live in those ecosystems, right? We looked at both natural populations of things, and then we also looked at human populations as well, right? So now that we have a greater understanding of sort of how the natural world works without humans, our next block of information is going to start talking about some of the things humans are doing to alter our environment. Okay, so what is it that we're doing? How are we impacting all of these living things? So we are going to look at a few different things in this week 2 module. We're going to be looking at air pollution. We're going to be looking at climate change, and we're also going to be looking at water and water pollution. So those are sort of the 3 topics that you're covering this week. So again, similar to what you all did last week, you have 3 chapters to cover. So you're going to be covering chapters, I believe it's 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so chapter 4 is air pollution, chapter 5 is climate change, and chapter 6 is, I call it water and water resources, because availability of water is just as big a problem, sometimes more so, as actual water pollutants. So that's a big topic as well. Same thing that we did last week. So similarly with the assignments, the weekly assignments are due on Friday. They are not due on Sunday, they're due on Friday. And I purposely do that because I want you to be able to focus after you turn those assignments in on Friday. I want you to shift gears then, and I want you to prepare to take the exam. So I don't want all of those things due at once because that would be too much. So I'm trying to break them apart a little bit. So again, your chapter assignments, which this week is going to be an assignment on cars and carbon dioxide. So looking at how much carbon your car emits, how many miles to the gallon you get. You'll do some calculations. It's fairly simple. We are also going to do an activity looking at the carbon cycle, which is where carbon moves. So after we burn a fossil fuel like coal, what happens to the carbon, right? Where does it go? So you're going to investigate that in this particular activity. And then last but not least is as another outdoor activity. So for those of you who were able to go out and complete the ecosystem scavenger hunt, which I always thought was kind of a fun activity, right? You get to go outside, you get to look around. I have another one of those for you. This time we're looking at a body of water. So I want you to go and find a local pond or a lake in your park or whatever it happens to be, and I want you to take a look at it. Even though we are an online class, don't forget we're interacting. This class is all about how humans interact with their environment, right? So I want you to get out there and I want you to interact with your environment. That's sort of the goal of that activity. So I try to put one of those in every week as best I can. All right. A couple of reminders. So again, you'll go through all the chapters first, right? You'll read the chapters, you'll watch the lecture videos, you'll review the lecture notes. I do have the assessment folder, which has the study guide currently available. The exam doesn't open until Wednesday. The Socrative survey doesn't also open until Wednesday. So the Socrative survey is really like, I want it to be the very, very, very last thing that you do. So after everything else is completed, I want you to finish that because it's really sort of the top of everything. Like, were you able to access these materials? Were you able to get to all of your assignments? So these are sort of these big questions that I ask at the end of the week that I want to know how the week went in just a sort of a quick check form. What questions do you have? That's something I'm always going to ask you. And if there are very specific questions that you did have, I will then address those the following week, either in the videos that I make, or sometimes I'll put those in the midweek email that I send out to everyone. Okay. Speaking of Socrative, please remember that in order to access the survey, it's not your Harper ID, it's your Harper username, and your username is the first part of your email address. So when you click the link to go to the survey, and here we'll just click there so we can get there. When you click the link to go to the survey, which is here, it's going to ask for a room number, which is Bio 103 survey, and then it's going to ask for your username, or actually it might say your student ID is what it asks for, I think. I'm using your Harper username. So once again, I kind of put that in bold right here just to make sure everybody remembers that. It's your Harper username. Okay, so that's the first part of your email address, right? So you'll use that, and that's how I know who you are when you're checking in on the survey, is by that. If you continue to have problems signing in, just let me know. It's best to send me screenshots whenever possible because screenshots give me an idea of what the problem potentially is and how I can help. So that's the easiest way that I can help you with your problems. If you screenshot what's going on, I'll see if I can troubleshoot it for you. Some things I can, some things I cannot. I cannot troubleshoot HonorLock. HonorLock has their own help service though, so you can chat with someone through HonorLock to help troubleshoot what's going on and figure things out, but that is something that I personally can't troubleshoot. If you're using HonorLock during the hours of the student help desk, so Harper College has a student help desk, and I can post that link I'll post it in the additional materials folder here. Actually, it might be student tech support. Actually, if you click on student tech support here, we might be able to get there to that link too. But if you can, I'll post it in additional materials. But the student help desk is there to help you troubleshoot different things, and they can assist in some ways with HonorLock. But talking to the folks at HonorLock is probably the best way to troubleshoot things. Just because, again, I don't know how your computer is set up, and I don't know what your operating system is, and I don't know what webcam you have, and those are all things that I can't help you with, but I certainly will put you in touch with the resources so that you can reach out to somebody and help, because I know in the moment that you get kind of panicky when things don't work out. But again, I will try to point you in the direction of resources to help, even when I cannot. All right, I will do my best. All right, so I think that takes care of things. Let's see, I talked about Socrative, I talked about HonorLock, I talked about the assignments, I talked about what's coming up this week. I think that about does it. As far as grading goes, I will do my best to get everything graded for you from this last week. Tuesdays, I can do that. If I don't get it done by Tuesday, I'll get it done by Thursday. Mondays and Wednesdays, I have my in-person classes, and so I can't do much on those days because those are days where I am fully on campus again with my fully face-to-face classes that I teach. So I won't be able to really do much today or Wednesday. But again, my goal would be Tuesday or Thursday to have those grades posted for you because, again, as a 4-week class, it's very important that you know exactly how you're doing and you stay on top of your grade. So I'll do my best to keep that grade book updated for you so that you know where you stand. As always, if you have questions, concerns, comments, anything that I can do, please just send me an email, reach out and let me know. Again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, those are days I can get back to you really quick. Mondays and Wednesdays, it's probably going to be later in the day that I get back to you because of my class schedule. But again, I still will respond to any and all questions that you have. So good luck with this second week of information, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Thanks, everybody.